Hey, what's up, guys? It's Leanne, and today I'm going to tell you a very quick story about how it is that I got to start working with 6 and 7 figure earners online. And very interesting that it starts in my childhood, of all things. And I don't know if you knew this about me, and I don't know if you can tell from my accent, if you even detect an accent, but I was actually born in Israel. And I didn't speak any English. I spoke Hebrew growing up. And when I was about 7.5 years old, my parents suddenly decided they wanted to move to New York. So we up and moved, sold all our stuff, and took a flight to New York. And my parents sublet an apartment up north somewhere, north of where's that place called? It suddenly skipped my mind. Just by the river on the west side, Riverdale. There we go. A little apartment in Riverdale for the summer. And then before school started, they found an apartment in Queens, New York, right on the highway. This is right on the Grand Central Parkway if you're from New York. Super loud, super dirty, super busy. And that's where I grew up from age 8 on. And here's the thing. I didn't speak any English. And they brought me, and within 2 months of being in the U.S., being just around my family because it was summer vacation here, I was basically thrown into school. I went to public school in Queens, and I was all of a sudden in the sea of English. I was drowning. I didn't know what people were saying. I didn't understand the language. I didn't understand the culture. And I was just struggling to get air. And I got it. And I learned English. By 4th grade, I was already speaking English. By 5th grade, I was excelling in class. By 6th grade, nobody even knew that I came from somewhere else. Okay? And so I was able to rise to the top. And I was, in fact, the top of my class in many of the classes that I took. So fast forward to when I was a teacher, and I was actually an ESL teacher, English as a second language. I wonder why. And fast forward to that's when I found internet marketing. And when I found it, I guess I remembered my lesson from my childhood, and I went all in. I jumped all into it. And within a year, I was able to quit my job and do internet marketing full time. Pretty cool, right? And a few years after that, I decided to step away from everything and have my son, right? I was pregnant, 3rd trimester, and I just decided now I'm going to focus on having my little baby boy. And after I had him and I let some time pass and I spent some time with him, I realized it was time to come back. So what did I do? I jumped all in. Now let me back up for a second and tell you about this story. And if you've been in network marketing and you've been in network marketing long enough, you've probably heard this story. And it goes something like this. It has different variations, but it's something like this. A guy's hanging out at the pool with his mentor, his network marketing mentor, right? They're having a party, and the 7-figure earner is there, and they're hanging out in the pool, they're having their drinks, and they're laying out in the sun. And the guy comes up to his mentor, right, to the 7-figure earner, and he says, "Johnny, what's the secret? What's the secret?" And Johnny looks at him, and he goes, "You want to know the secret?" He's like, "Yeah, what's the secret? How can I become a 7-figure earner like you?" And Johnny looks at him and he says, "Do you trust me?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." So Johnny takes his head in his hand and he dunks him underwater at the pool. And at first the guy's like, I trust this guy. And he just lays back. And then he starts to run out of air. And then he's exhaling really fast. And there's bubbles coming up. And then he starts struggling a little bit, but the guy's holding him down. And then finally, he's got no air left. Almost nothing left. With one last push, he struggles and he pops out of the water, breathing hard. And he goes, "What the hell, dude? What was that?" And Johnny goes, "When you want success that bad, that's the secret. That's the secret." And so let's come back to my time as a kid. I didn't have a choice but to rise up. I wasn't going to be the kid who sat in class, dumbstruck, not knowing what to say or do and not understanding anybody, right? And when I jumped into internet marketing the first time, I wasn't going to be the person who dipped my toe in and pulled it back out, because then what happens? Nothing. You don't even float if you're not in the water. And when I came back, I hopped all in. And here's what happens. Here's where most people mess up. See, they hop into the pool and they float a little bit and they swim, but they don't go all in. They don't go all in. And here's what happens when you don't go all in. Here's what happens. You just float and you float and you float and you stay there. Whatever you're doing, whether it's making a few bucks, making a few hundred, a few thousand, making nothing, you just float there and you stay there. But here's what happens when you go all in. See, because everybody else is swimming in the pool, right? Everybody else is swimming in the pool. But when you hop in and you go all in and you start struggling to get to the top and you work really hard, people notice. People notice the splashing. And you know what happened to me? As the top earners reached in and they started to pull me up. And that's the secret to going all in. And that's my story. So below this video, I have a link for you. And what you're going to want to do is click on it, make the purchase, $25, and you're going to want to go all in. Go all in. And wait and see, because you're going to get pulled up just like I was. I'll see you on the inside. Bye for now.